check this out. I know when buying a home for the first time can be a very stressful process. But that's why it's good to get with a good lender like my buddy Jared Nicholson from Key Mortgage Group. He's so active to educate his borrowers and also let people be aware of their blind spots. This is a good man to make your lifetime lender, to make your process super stress-free, and don't be turned off by the housing process. You can follow him and find him at jnhomeloan.com. So let me spell that out for you. jnhomeloan.com. So tap in with him. Jared NMLS number is 1969744. I repeat that. 1969744. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. Miss you guys. On this episode today, we interview my buddy Amner Martinez, who's a Guatemalan native and also resided in the USA since 1990. Amner is also the owner and operator of Infinity Resource, co-chair of the nonprofit Latino Arts Initiative, co-founder of the Warren and Marrow Latin Music Fest, host of the Amner Martinez podcast, and founder and producer of the Amplified DSM.com, a local podcast platform in Des Moines, Iowa. Amner, on this episode, me and Amner got into small businesses and the importance of marketing and also just some real life aspects, man. It was a pleasure to have Amner on. He's so motivated. You guys will learn a ton from him. So do not miss this episode coming up shortly. Look forward to talking to y'all. My guy Amner. See you soon. Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Minds with Hakeem podcast. I'm here today with my brother Amner. Say what's up to the people, bro.
What's up, people?
Man, I'm just honored to have you on, brother. I appreciate you coming on and spilling to my people. And man, I can't wait to you give what you got to give today, brother.
Awesome.
So y'all already know how we started. We're going to get Amner warmed up with the icebreaker question. So, brother, what is your top 3 people, dead or alive, who you would choose to have a cup of coffee with? If you don't drink coffee, a cup of tea.
Okay. I do drink coffee. You go right into it.
Oh, yeah. We trying to heat it up.
Okay. I wasn't ready, man. No. 3 dead people that I would like to have coffee with.
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Yeah.
You know, okay. The first one that popped into my head right now is my father. So a friend and I were just talking about how we all have daddy issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got them too.
So I always kind of want to gather up the guts to sit down with my dad and ask him the real tough questions, but I can never do it. Like, I'm always like, once I see him, I'm like, hey, Dad, you know. So
never get that courage.
Yeah,
I'm the same way, bro.
No, so that's a tough one. I think everybody should do that. I'll do it someday.
Yeah, one day.
I know. Man, I don't know. I'm really not a big like Star Trek person, but I do have some people that are. I would have liked to maybe have some coffee with a philosopher, maybe like Socrates.
Yeah.
I don't know who else pops in my head. Maybe Jesus.
Hey, that's been a consistent answer on this show. I'm proud of that one.
He's a man that walked this planet, right? So full front, like I'm not religious, but but as a man, Jesus, like that's a very interesting person. He's probably one of the first ones that got canceled.
Cancel culture. They canceled Jesus first. And I think whether you're religious or not too, and I think like Jesus, like he just got all the answers. Like this,
man, think about that.
Like he got all the answers. Like why would you not want to have a cup of coffee with him?
There's like the planet, up until Jesus, and then after Jesus, literally.
The fall.
I mean, if you're that kind of a man that changes the trajectory of the mind of the human species, then I would want to have coffee with you.
That's a lot of knowledge.
Those are my 3.
That's a dope 3, and I like the fact that besides like everybody in your it was very diverse. Your three is diverse, man.
Awesome.
So I appreciate that. And the father thing that's huge, man. That's big, especially for us men. Cause like sometimes our father don't know how to start that conversation either, and we don't either. So guess what? It'll never happen unless somebody looks stupid. You gotta look stupid. Like,
and it's not like I don't hang out with my dad. You know?
No, for sure.
But I'm like, I'm gonna ask him. You know, sometimes you're mad. I'm like, I'm gonna ask him this question. Why this and why did this happen?
Never do it.
No, you just the gut. You know.
Yeah, no, for real. We appreciate that, brother. But let's jump right in, man. I know you said I got going early, but I wanna just open us up about the podcast that you host, the Amner Martinez podcast. Can you kind of give us the background on that podcast, about what it's about, what you're trying to pull out, what message you're trying to display?
Yeah, I mean, so my podcast is Amner Martinez, and I just kind of, I've been interviewing people for like 18 years here in May. I've been in the staffing and recruiting, headhunting world, so I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people for work. So I kind of got a natural kind of knack for just kind of starting conversations. So I just wanted to record it, put it on record. And we just started doing it. My best friend, my co-producer and I, Kenji, we started doing it, and then we just kept asking guests to come. And so I don't know if there's a message. I think I just, like you just want to talk to interesting people that are doing something positive in the community.
What year did y'all start your show?
Early 2019.
Early 2019.
Yeah, so it'll be 2 years.
Yep.
Or it was 2 years, like a month ago. But yeah, I think, okay, if there's a message, I think there's like local people doing really great things.
Yes.
And
hold up. Shout out to local people. We love y'all. On the Amner Martinez podcast and the Minds. But go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off like that.
No. But yeah, so there's really dope, intellectual, good people doing great things locally. Yeah. And I think we kind of look outside too much. As Des Moines, we have the mentality like we're a small city. So, we look to the East Coast, to the West Coast, or celebrities. But no, we have really amazing people here doing really great things. So, I think we need to look inside, just what you're doing. Look here, look within, and we have a lot of good role models here.
Yeah, and to piggyback off your statement, man, Des Moines has been and I know I'm not from here, and you aren't either, but since I got here, Des Moines has been really super. The people have been really interested in things like that. So I love shining that light on them, just like you were saying. He peeled out. Just like you were saying though. As far as the Amner Martinez podcast, I know we and you was just talking briefly offset. Can you kind of talk about that period during the pandemic and the social justice? How hard was it for you to shoot episodes and stuff like that? I think that's really
so I mean, literally everybody in the world got impacted by this. So so did we, and there for about 6 months there was nothing really relevant to talk about. We just didn't do much, just like everybody else. We just kind of wondering what is a good time to kind of come back. I mean, the pandemic is just messed up for everybody.
For real.
But it kind of gave us time to work on Amplified. So out of the Amner Martinez podcast, excuse me, out of the Amner Martinez podcast, we started to kind of brainstorm, and we got a lot of people interested in podcasting. I mean, podcasting is there's popular. Podcasts popping everywhere, any day. So it's nothing we're not reinventing the wheel or anything.
Yeah.
But we saw enough interest that we're like, okay, there's people out there that wanna do a podcast. So with Amplified, we just kind of make it easy for somebody that wants to do a podcast.
So kind of explain Amplified, because we was going to jump into the next, and I want you to keep spilling into it, because I think that's really super dope what you do with Amplified. So kind of explain Amplified, then we'll dive deeper into it.
Sure, yeah. So Amplified. So I was reading this book. It's called The Tipping Point.
Gladwell?
Yes.
Fire.
Okay. So I kind of stole some from and actually they advised it on the book to start something.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that part of the book, but it says, try these, these methods, try these. So Amplified came out of, the need of, there's people want to, get their voice heard. So what is it? Connectors, mavens, and change makers.
Yeah.
So there's 9 original podcasts that we started with Amplified with 9 different hosts, and then 4 podcasters that joined the platform just to kind of keep growing a podcaster community. So they're all local. They're all great people.
And also on top of them all being local and great people, like your website is just so like it's appeasing. As soon as you get onto your website, it's like, I don't know who designing it, or maybe it's you, but it's fire the way you spotlight every show, including your show along with the others. But talk about like in Des Moines how easy it was or hard for you to get that diverse set of people, because your podcast Amplified, that site is very diverse.
Yeah. So that's one of the things, and I'm glad you kind of bring it up, because that's one of the things I'm most proud of, is how diverse it is. So we have Chinese podcaster, we have Japanese people in there, we have Mexican American, we have Mexican, we have undocumented people, gay, queer, African American, Latino,
very diverse,
white,
like,
yeah,
no, like
so,
that what wowed me when I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and so I think that plays a little part on so I've been involved in the community doing things. I used to be part of a music festival, a Spanish music festival, and in the past, while I was doing my podcast, I was kind of networking and getting at the same time. So when I started, when we started thinking about Amplified, then it was just kind of like my recruiter kind of came in to play, and then I started being like, okay, this person would be good for this. So we have a Muslim woman that does a podcast, then a poet, and my podcast is also on there. We have a Chinese the author. So it was just kind of I was presenting this to the people that I thought would be great, and honestly, they make it easy because they have so much to say, and they seem like they were ready too. So there's no real like nobody's hesitating. Nobody's like, everybody's just like, they were just ready for the mic to be turned on them. So I just feel like, no pun intended, but we're just amplifying their voices.
Amplify. Okay, yeah.
So because they just needed a mic.
No, for sure. That's super dope, and that leads me into my next question. With Amplified, and you don't have to answer this question, you don't want to. Do most of those people have like their own setup, or some of them use yours, or they all have their own?
So the first 9 original ones, and when I say 9, I include mine.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to kind of make it super easy, so they just come in and record, and then we do the post production. My co-producer Kenji and I, they prepare, they do the topic, they do the subject, they manage all the art part or the creative side. They do it. We just are we just make it easy for them. And then the four podcasts that joined us, which is the Human Podcast with Julian.
Yeah, Julian. Shout out Ju. Good people, man.
And then 3 more. They have their own podcast, so we're just kind of we're just like linking them up to the platform.
Just kind of trying to figure
which
it out,
makes it a little bit easy for us too. 'Cause I'm like 13 podcasts right now.
Sweet, yeah. Just run y'all. If y'all want this
if
good
you
job
got it,
on
just
y'all
let
own
us know.
stuff. Yeah. Tell us what we don't need to do.
Yes.
Nah, that's dope, man. I think you and your team, what y'all doing is like crazy. Like I bumped into a guy in the coffee shop, and he was the owner, and he had said he wanted to do an idea like of getting a host of all local podcasts because we don't have a voice. And when he said that, I was like, wait, I know somebody that's doing that already. And then I showed him your site. Like, this was literally Friday. Like, cool. Like, and he was like, whoa, I didn't know nobody was doing. I'm like, yeah, this dude's dope. Like, I'm finna have him on my show. Because I was trying to interview him. I was trying to interview the owner of the coffee shop. And I was like, I'm finna have him on my show too. He was like, oh, bet. And he followed my podcast. So hopefully he'll tune in and see this
it's
live
an
conversation.
Undertaking, man. It's an undertaking. So, we do want people to tune in. They are like-minded people, like, Duran. Duran. He's really good friends with
I haven't met him before. I do know him, though, through Julie.
He's a dope poet with Say What Poetry. and his is one. They're all great, but like Duran is really somebody that I'm like very inspired by.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. You know firsthand. So we went from producing one podcast to nine, and then now it's like
that's a game changer.
But it's fun though. So that's our number one rule with KG and I.
Yeah.
If it's fun, we're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Once it stops being fun, then we're not gonna do it.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I want to jump into. The hard work behind the podcast. I got a lot of brothers and sisters who follow the minds, and they want to start their own podcast.
Yes.
So can you kind of talk to the back work? Because they don't see the back work. They just see us getting on this camera or getting on the mics and pouring into them.
To be honest, I think the hardest part, and maybe you might agree with me. Tell me what you think. The hardest part is sticking with it.
Yeah.
Like that's the hardest part.
No, for sure.
Like you really gotta like your own voice.
Yeah, no.
You really gotta want to do this.
I cringe still when I hear my voice.
No, but you really gotta. There's something that you can't touch, but you gotta really want to do it because it's time consuming.
It's demanding.
Just the scheduling, just talking to somebody and trying to fit into their schedule, finding the right spot, finding the right place, the equipment and the editing, and depending on how long it is. So there's definitely a lot that goes into it. It's more time consuming. But I think the hardest part is like we were talking earlier, is sticking with it. It's doing it consistently. So
that would probably be the
but the only way that you know that you're gonna like it is if you do it.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like the phone, you just record something.
You can literally and post it out.
Post it out, yeah. So that's not hard if you think about it, right? Just open a SoundCloud account, record something, put it out. The question is, how consistent can you be? Can you stick with it?
It's the name of the game,
can you let
right
it
there.
evolve? Can you be patient and not go for the likes or the shares or comments? Just know that there's something good about it, and something eventually you don't know what it is that's gonna happen, but something's gonna happen. You just don't know.
And it's the fact. I think you hitting it right on the head because like you gotta believe in yourself first before we do.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's beautiful the way you put that. Is you don't know what's gonna come out of it, but
once you put it out, as long as you're in love with it, then
exactly
whatever happens.
Hey, you might get $100,000 job for just having a pot. Oh, you know how to talk to people. We'll pay you $100,000 for this. Like you never know what's gonna.
You don't know.
Yeah, like literally. So sticking with it and being consistent is definitely. I agree with you. That's the hardest part.
That is the hardest part. Yeah.
Like it's a lot of leg work, and then like getting on time with people.
Because you get discouraged, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had those thoughts, doubts that creeps in, and you're like,
and I was discouraged yesterday.
Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
Like and especially like when you said you don't hit the numbers you want to hit first, and like everybody's not joining your wave yet. That's okay. Like you just got to believe in yourself first. Like,
that's why I have mad respect for any artist, anybody that gets to somewhat make a living out of what they love. You gotta imagine how many times they wanted to quit. You can just imagine how many times they wanted that, people told them no.
Man.
So, man, to get somewhere, it takes a lot of consistency, a lot of passion for it.
Yep, no self-doubt. Yo, this is Juwan Hakeem here with the Minds with Hakeem podcast, sharing an Iowa-based nonprofit, Jonathan House International. We have JHI's director with us today, here to share their mission statement.
Our mission statement at JHI is walking with communities to bring spiritual and physical transformation.
Now tell us a little bit more about what you guys do at JHI.
At JHI, we support international missions being led by local people. We support them through their operations, spiritual development, and economic development projects.
Now, how can the Minds with Hakeem community support you guys and stand behind you?
There's a few different ways to get involved. You can become a sponsor either of a child, support one of our leaders working in different countries, volunteer with us, really anything that you feel like you have a gift to give. We want to receive it and we want to help others with that.
Now tell us how the Minds with Hakeem community can financially support JHI.
Even starting with as little as $5 makes a huge impact on our organization and those that we sponsor. Every little bit helps, and we just want to invite you to walk with us as we walk with communities.
Nice. Now, last but not least, tell us where we can locate you guys and how can we get in contact with y'all.
You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and our website at jonathansHouseINTL.org.
I wanted to talk to you about, because you do a lot of stuff, like on top of being in the community, on top of most importantly being a husband and a father. Mm-hmm. What continues to push you to keep Amplified going? Your own show, you helping others, and also continue to be that family guy.
You know, my daughters, I have a 16-year-old. I have a 16-year-old and 10-year-old twins.
Hold up. Shout out to kids. Yes, sir. We love kids on the minds, baby.
So, my 16-year-old, probably last year sometime, when we were about to launch Amplified. Hold on.
Dry cough season.
I know. So right before we were gonna launch Amplified, she asked me, so what's the purpose? Like, what's the goal here? Why are you doing it? I remember just saying, I just want to keep my life interesting. Like I just don't want life to be boring
and average.
Yeah. I'm lucky. I don't know if it's luck, it's destiny, whatever you want to call it. But I'm super blessed. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful family.
Amen.
We're both self-employed. We're economically we're independent. So, it's just if you're. I think keeping your life interesting is a good thing daily.
Yep.
So this stuff right here, like. This is fun. I was nervous when I came. I was like, what am I going to wear? I don't know what I'm going to wear.
I'm on the minds. I'm on camera. I just, you know what? Selfishly said, I love the excitement of my guests. When I tell them they, like, yo, we want you on, they be like, yo, what else I got? What else I got? But that keeps me going. But no, I love
the little things.
Yeah,
right?
the little like the simplicity. Like, and then, like, I know, like, one thing that keeps me going, too, and I want to continue to convey this message. If one person can learn from you on this episode, and get through a situation they were stuck in, I did my job. Like, I don't care. I don't care about helping 1,000 or a million people. If I can help one person, one brother, one sister, I'm good, man. Like, you inspire somebody.
Duran and I, the poet that I was telling you, we have this discussion when we're editing his podcast. When he says something, we will stop it, and then we break it down for 10 minutes of what he just said. And so every time we edit, we're there for hours. So
to get it right.
And not to get it right, but he says like really deep stuff that I just love diving into what he said. So
he can have a spin-off podcast where we just take a quote from what he said and just let's unpack this on this episode. That's dope.
Yeah, but he does his podcast on black masculinity, and so there's a lot of he's an artist, so like there's doubt that creeps in any artist. But we were talking about if there's one or two people that hears this, that's it right there.
That's enough.
You help somebody just be like, oh shit, okay, I didn't think about it.
That's enough. That's dope. That's dope. You got to tap into that, Key. Yeah, black masculinity. So I know, man, you had talked off the record about just like marketing for small business people like us, or like whoever own a small business or running a small business. So can you kind of talk to about, because you said some really good things to me. I'm like, yo, let's go. About like the marketing side for small businesses and how some of them fear putting marketing dollars towards things. Can you talk about the importance of putting money, not blindly, strategically towards marketing that you don't see right away? Can you talk to the importance about that?
And I think you hit it on the nail. Is a fear, is thinking that you are gonna waste or spend money. So it's just a tweaking the mind and just looking at, or the perception or the perspective of like, I'm investing money. This money will eventually, come back. Gasoline doesn't come back, right? There's things, paying the cell phone bill is not gonna come back.
But you do that. But you do that.
Yes. So invest in yourself. Invest in whatever endeavor that you want to go into. Get a small logo, as small as it is. Get it, put it together. Right now, there's so many tools on our phones. This is a
create
computer.
stuff yourself.
This is a computer.
This is smarter than everything in this room.
Yes.
This is just as smart as that.
Yes. So just put something together and just tell people what you're doing. I give this example to a lot of people. So I have a friend. We've been friends for over 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And like several years ago, I ran up to him and I was like, "Oh man, I bought this car, this $4,000 car,
Cash car."
And he's like, "Yo man, why didn't you tell me?" And he's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Yo man, why didn't you tell me? My dad and I sell cars." And I was like, "Why didn't you tell me? I didn't know that you sold cars. Like if you would have told me, and I'm your friend, I would totally go buy a car from you." So if you don't tell people what you do, how are they gonna know that you do that you do that service or you have that product? So our job as small business owners is to let people know that we exist. You can't make them buy it or you can't make them use your services.
We have a service.
They have to know that you exist. As long as they know that you exist, then it's up to them if you want to buy the product, right? Or if they want to if we want to use your services. But so that you can only do it by telling people with business cards, with social media, with some ads. Like there's small publications that you can buy ads. Facebook, you can buy $5 of sponsored Facebook.
Literally, word of mouth only goes so far.
Right.
And most of these small businesses believe in word of mouth.
Right.
That's gonna get you something, but one of your closest friends didn't even know you sold cars. That's a prime example. Where you're at, because I get on Instagram and I scroll through stories. I see some of my best friends' ads. Obviously, I know they have these businesses, but I'm on Instagram and I'm like, oh, I was just actually with him yesterday. That's my guy.
Don't assume that people know what you do. That's a big problem. People assume that they. Just because you get some feedback, and you're like, oh, okay, people.
I'm killing it.
No. We spend, with my recruiting company, we spend close to $3,000 in marketing a month, and that's gonna just keep growing because that's how we've been growing. If we don't tell people that we have jobs, they won't call us. So then we gotta come up with new, different creative ads, funds and
let them know
images, blah blah blah. But we live in such a short
information age.
So we gotta be pumping material quick. So just make sure people know, or flyers. Just print 100 flyers and just go to every store. Make sure people know that you do what you're doing.
Now that you gave out a lot of good marketing ideas for small businesses, can you talk to the importance of knowing your target audience for whatever you do?
Yeah. So I'll just kind of briefly talk about my business and
absolutely
how it works for me. So I know if I'm looking for a specific candidate, I know if that candidate lives on LinkedIn or if they live on social media or if they live on Craigslist or if they don't live on the internet at all. So it's
you got to do something different for everything.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
With Amplified, I struggle a little bit more on that because it's a work of love. So I don't want to taint it with too much marketing or so that's a different approach that I take. I kind of want people to just organically or naturally just kind of come and listen, and I do eventually want to kind of take that to the next level.
Absolutely.
And put some money behind it, but it's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough finding your audience, and that's key for a business.
No, absolutely.
It's who's the person, who is the demographic, what age, what
what range? For sure.
But Facebook helps you doing some
everything.
Of that stuff.
Everything, and the sites that I put my podcast through, they tell me my target audience. They don't tell me my target audience. They tell me the range of the people that's listening to my show. They got all age groups, and these smart computers you was just talking about, they tell you who you need to be honing in on if you actually invest in it. And it's so hard for people to get over that phobia. Just like, I'm not hiring nobody because I don't know if they're gonna make me money. But will they relieve you of stress?
Right.
Like, you gotta find it's a balance. Like, and I think it's important for small business people and others to know that. But no, man, Amner Martinez, man, I want to get some more out of you, man. So I got some let's get some Des Moines rapid fire questions in before we get offset. This is your time to be that Des Moines plug, man. So what's your favorite restaurant to eat at? Local?
Okay. All right, so I'm kind of biased, but Proof is one of my favorite restaurants.
What is it?
Proof.
What is it?
Oh, it's like a fusion. It's a downtown, but I'm biased because my brother-in-law is the head chef there, the executive chef. It's some delicious food though. This kid is talented. He's 22 and he became the head chef. He started as the dishwasher like 3 years ago. So Proof is one of my favorite restaurants.
Proof. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm taking you up on that.
We eat everything, man. Indian food, Mexican food, Italian.
We eat it all.
Yeah.
We eat it all.
There's a good Peruvian restaurant, Panca, called Panca. It's on the Ingersoll. La Baja Mexican restaurant. That's a good restaurant.
I've had that. That's fire. No, that's fire.
Yeah, they're new, but they're good.
All right, Des Moines people, y'all got to tap into these local spots. All right, I need you to plug a local podcast artist that's not me or you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite show and local artist in Des Moines? Plug them.
Man, anybody in Amplify.
So look, give us the names. Like, yo, we need to shout them out. And Amplify y'all will have access to Amplify that.
Yeah. I mean, we even have a psychologist that's out of California. She's the only one that's not local. Yeah. But she does a small.
She out in Cali.
Yep. She's in California. I mean, Amplified overall right now is where I would say go and check out, because there's different things for everybody. There's undocumented momhood. She talks about momhood as an undocumented woman. We have
There's so much power to that. There's so much power to that.
So go check out Amplified, and then those are all my favorites.
That's all his favorites right there, baby.
That was a trick question. You almost got me.
Look. I'm finna make you divide and conquer between your Amplified. Nah, I can't do that. Favorite local musician, any genre, man.
Okay, so
we tagged him in the video.
Personally. I know him personally. His name is Mike Woods. He's a drummer. He's a drummer, but he's a sought-after drummer. He plays in endless number of bands. Yeah, he's like that. Yes, he teaches. What's that music store on Marlhay area? Riemann Music.
It's Riemann.
He teaches drums there, but he is one of the coolest.
Mike, we pulling up on you.
Yes, Mike Woods is one of the coolest cats in town, bro.
Dope.
That guy's cool. He plays in jazz bands and blues bands, in Spanish bands, by the way.
Oh, no, he's very diverse.
Bands, because his language is music.
Yeah.
So he doesn't need to know the words. Nope. He's just like, okay, give me the beat.
Let's go. Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Mike Woods, man. Last but not least, man, what is your favorite thing to do in the city, in Des Moines, man?
In the city of Des Moines. So Des Moines is one of those cities that has a little bit of everything, right? It doesn't have a lot of everything, but just a little bit. So I like to kind of, find things that, because this is small, find places that I haven't been to. It's kind of fun, like feeling like, I just drove by over here on 14th and almost to Euclid. There's a small street there, and there's somehow a little plaza, and there's a Honduran restaurant and like a store, and you're just like, you feel like you're somewhere else. Yeah.
I went to Grandview. I don't even know what you're talking about.
By there, yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I like running into places that I'm like, oh, okay, I haven't been here. Let's see what's up.
No, for sure, man. Awesome, bro. So what I want to do is I want to open it up for you to throw your shameless plugs, man, your podcast name, your website, and it'll all be listed below. But, man, this is your boasting session, man. Let us know where we can find you. Let us know we can get in touch with you.
I mean, amplifydsm.com. That's kind of where you can find all of our podcasts.
Yes, sir. One-stop shop.
Yes, amplifydsm.com. If you know anybody that's looking for a job or that is looking for talent, that my other business is Infinite Resources. So
yes, sir.
InfiniteResourcesDSM.com. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of. And I'm a dad, so that's
no, absolutely, man. But the Moms with Hakeem, man, we just want to thank you for coming on, man, and we love everything you're doing. We're going to continue to follow and gravitate to that, and thank you for sharing with my audience, man. So we appreciate you, brother. Yes, sir.
I lost my nerves.
So yeah, I mean, you did great too, by the way.
Yeah.
But that wraps up another episode of the Moms with Hakeem podcast and the Martinez, everybody. Peace.
Thank you.